Welcome back. Thank you for joining me. I'm here with Jonathan.
Hello.
I'm afraid Tim's stuck in a black hole. Hopefully he'll join us soon.
He's riding the ghost train.
He's riding the ghost train. We've got a bit of action with Norway over here. So we saw him moving a big stack off, actually. So he's playing games. Don't know what he's up to. I mean, we can take all this land that we want. It's not really going to hurt him desperately because he's going to have his homeland and all his gold. So we don't know what he's got planned. Look, Argentina are cracking into Ireland. Ireland goaded me with a message about something like, oh, we're happy with our deal with them. We're just going to sit back and watch you fight it out. So we'll have to make sure that we continue negotiating with the other side to make sure we do take out Norway and Ireland before we
I
start
feel like
fighting each other.
Ireland was winding us up because
Yeah.
said that to me too, and then I happened to notice that New Zealand was moving into one of my cities. Turns out it was a bit of a misunderstanding. He just parked the troop to go and land on the city at the same time as mine.
Cool.
Fortunately, it stopped his troop just outside the city, but that's caused quite a few wars before. You both go towards the same place, and then
Yeah.
nobody knows who fired first. Happened with
Yeah.
Ethiopia too. But we managed to make peace down here. So I don't think Ireland was talking about any of the coalition members. They do all generally seem trustworthy, but there's definitely something going on, right? Because
Yeah.
Japan has left their coalition.
Oh, has he?
Yeah, so that means there's room for somebody. I mean,
Oh,
like,
God.
who could it be? That's the question.
Oh, God. It's not going to be China. Why has no one destroyed China? That's a bit weird.
China is now a member of the First Nations and California Republic coalition.
Oh, okay.
The only other option is Madagascar with his six cities, and he's still got all of the troops he's been making all game, all 29 days. So he could be a little bit of a threat. Um,
Yeah, yeah, I love quite a few ships. Well, New Zealand was a bit of a turncoat, so we'd never cancel them out. They joined in with Brazil and Brazil and Argentina are potentially not as strong as Norway and Ireland, given the money, but then their tactics are awful. So I don't know. There's plenty more to come from this, for sure. So we'll see how it plays out. I've been spamming National Guard up Europe. Got another one going into here. Yeah, there he is. And then should have one. Oh no, I don't need to cover Athens, but I've got one on Patras, got one on Larissa. Just moved an armoured fighting vehicle onto Alexandropolis so I can move everyone up. Armoured fighting and a troop there. National Guard there. National Guard here. All these cities. And we've moved up quite far, haven't we, Jonathan?
yeah, we're making progress in several different directions. I've nearly finished gathering some troops at Volgograd. In Europe, we've moved since yesterday from like Nice nearly up to Zagreb now, so that's pretty good. And you've started to incur in Bucharest as well, and I've started to move up Italy. So we've got our fingers in lots of pies.
Yeah. Tim started to move out, but he's kind of hitting New Zealand. He's way too late with that one. I'd have hoped we could have pushed out a bit further and taken the bits of river that lead into the Black Sea. But so we'll have to keep an eye out for pontoons being built around there if he wants to try and get into our home cities from that angle.
That's a good point. And pontoons, you got to remember, they only take an hour and a half to build.
Oh, God.
When I was fighting the East African Federation, they kept building them overnight, and then I'd find troops in my cities, and I'd have to go searching for it to go and destroy it. It was an absolute nightmare. Unfortunately, New Zealand's in here, and I think Norway's kind of been displaced. This stack is now moving away. It's definitely a culmination of the troops he was using to take Russia, that he's now kind of moved south towards here, or perhaps some units which he was fighting against New Zealand with. They're very displaced. They're perhaps not in a position to attack Tim. there's a bit of a funny situation going on here. Like now, what is really going to happen with all this land?
Yeah, I've got a feeling they're as strong as ever, and they've been building and spending loads of gold, and they're just going to smash back into one of us. Maybe they're hoping we take a guard off our homelands, and they're just going to send a whole load of nukes or something at everyone. So we'll have to see what happens there, because they've got all their stealth fighters and stuff, haven't they? And all sorts of different ways of delivering nuclear missiles, but probably subs to be watching out for. Building my first destroyer, and the last couple of SAMs, I've got loads of SAMs now. I've got about 10, I think, altogether, maybe even more, and they're spread out along the homeland, so that's really well covered. There's 2 in each stack, so 2 there in Istanbul, 2 there in the middle, covering sort of 2 cities down there, 1 in the capital, and they've all got theatre defence, so 2 SAMs and a theatre defence, and then 2 SAMs and a theatre defence here on the right hand side of the capital. So I've got 4 stacks in the homeland of a theatre defence and 2 SAMs. So I've got really good air cover, and after that, after the last SAM is done, which I can send out into the field, I'm going to start pumping out rockets and destroyers. I want a stack of destroyers. I'm building a naval officer as well, so I can put that in with my stack of frigates, and then I want to start building, after I've got the destroyers, I'll build up the naval base to pump out a stack of cruisers. Don't know how much time I'm going to have to build any of that, but ideally it'll be quite nice to have a stack of frigates, destroyers, cruisers, and just float them about with each other. And I mean, they may not be much of a match for New Zealand and their 45 boats, but we'll see.
Yeah, we definitely need to focus on Navy. I'm still churning out destroyers. I'm going to start building frigates soon, and I'll work towards cruisers. I'm researching now. Yeah, I'm researching just a level 1 frigate. But if we all just focus on Navy, then we should be able to fight off anyone.
Yeah.
Welcome,
together.
Tim.
Hello, Tim.
All right.
You been on the ghost train?
No, today.
We saw you.
I have been for about 9 months.
We saw you on it.
On what?
The ghost train.
League of Legends.
Yeah.
It's an illness, Tim.
Certainly is. He's not disagreeing. Play Conflict of Nations instead. It's far less toxic.
Flick now.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, it's a lot less stressful.
What did you see in Norway's stack over here?
I haven't seen anything. I have just noticed that my fighter is getting hit though by the stack, so I'm assuming he's got some SAMs in it. I've been hit. Yeah, I've been hit every 10 minutes for nearly an hour.
Oh,
nice.
Yeah.
Pull them back.
Okay. Yeah.
You need to just get your rockets to attack that. I think Norway's been very careful with having anti-air on any of his advances, so he's got a bit of sense about him. We have to give him credit for that.
Yeah. I mean, the big stack that attacked Istanbul, he had a whole stack of anti-air following like his main tank stack, and then also he had a rocket stack, didn't he? So he had the full shebang.
How many were in the rocket stack? Can you remember?
I never saw. Did you, Tim?
A few days ago. It was just lone rockets, I think. I just jumped on him, and then he had that anti-air stack next to it.
Okay.
Yeah, singular rockets on their own aren't much of a threat. It's when you group like more than 6 together.
It was like waypoint.
They get very hard to take down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it'd be nice to have a stack of 6 at the entrance to the Suez Canal.
Yeah, I'm prioritising that. Sort of.
I could have a go as well, and if we can both cover it with rockets, and that'd be amazing. and build bunkers.
Yeah, you've got Djibouti there. I've built bunkers in Al Hudaya or Hudaida. So I'm just gonna like set up camp there.
Okay, let's both build a stack of rockets there, and they'll need a little bit of anti-air just to cover them as well.
Yeah. Like a little stack which I've already started forming, sitting near Madagascar's coast. I could just have one which is kind of halfway in between the Suez Canal and Madagascar, and just kind of double or treble it up, and then that way it can move between both battlefronts if I need it. Yeah. I'm looking to have like that kind of little formation in a few key places, just like if anyone's looking to invade in the future, you know, with a minimum of like a mobile radar, a theatre defence, a SAM turret, and a couple of rocket launchers and a troop.
I've just realised
also starting to form some in Central Africa too.
Left a tank down there. Can I have it back?
Oh yeah, do what you want with it. It's just been a nice little hedging my bets in case he does come in here. But I think we'll just deal with that when it comes to it.
Yeah, because I'm not going to be able to like manage that down there. I'll forget about it and it will just sit there for no reason. Unless you want me to park it on Mozambique's old capital. Either way, I don't care. But
no, it's fine. You use it for whatever. It's done its job.
Great. It'll start the build on Djibouti, and I'll send a mobile SAM down, start building a stack. Then once I start building the rockets, I'll send a rocket down. Where? Oh yeah, this mobile SAM. I'll set the rally point in Djibouti. I'll just hope it gets there all right. It should do.
And equally to the Suez Canal, we've got to consider the threat of this African river. So if you two are focusing on the Suez, maybe I'll focus on...
It goes all the way through, doesn't it?
Yeah, and it's accessible from the south and the west.
Oh, God.
So I've actually annexed the Juba complex, which kind of it's where the two rivers join. Perhaps I should just get a ton of rocket launchers around there.
Yeah, that's annoying because you don't have to. That opens it wide open, doesn't it? It gives us like 3 points to defend.
Well, it does, but if we're not particularly worried about boats in Mozambique's lands, then we can just cut it off at that one place and cut our options down. But it does mean if somebody was clever, they might try and move in troops to like Kisangani or Bumba. But in that eventuality, I'd look to have some troops defending the land just behind the Juba complex, as well as in Central Africa as well.
Yeah, well, the Juba complex is the place to defend, isn't it? But build a bunker and start building a stack. As long as we know where we're building the defensive stacks, we can all contribute if one player's struggling.
Yeah. And the other key...
Yeah. Go on.
The other key location is going to be in South Algeria. If you see, there's this one province which entirely blocks off this other passageway. And I'm going to sit some troops on there and also have them cover in any troops that might come from Morocco. That'll be very difficult to defend if in that eventuality.
We want to be careful we don't have too many fronts.
Yeah,
it's important to cover the sea entry points and make sure we have good defense because it's defending our homeland. But in terms of fighting off a land attack, we've got a bit more warning, haven't we? And we've got a lot more units, and we can be quite mobile. We need to make sure we've got airfields in the right place. I don't have enough materials to be starting to put airfields about.
Well,
but problem I've got one in Sanaa, so you can sort of transport troops to Djibouti via that.
Okay.
I suppose that's one little
That's right. There's an airbase in Bahir Dar complex near Djibouti, to the west of the bubble, to the west of Djibouti. So we need to start thinking about having strategic airfields. I'm sure there's a lot already in place, but I don't have any in Europe yet. But we're going to have to fly stuff about. I can fly my rockets. I've just started researching strikes. You'd be surprised that I haven't done that already. And then I want to research naval strike. And then I don't know, because the infographic is broken, or it's not clear, because I'd quite like to build the stealth strike fighter and build up a stack of those, really. Because if you have a look at their stats, they're really good against helicopters, and we know one of them's got helicopters, but equally they're good against other aircraft and really good against like troops and hard targets. They're okay against boats. What do you think?
I think maybe at this stage in the game, like, somebody's going to have some stealth locating stuff, and you've got your air superiority, which can be used against helicopters. I think you've just got to position them in the right way. But if they've got a ton of anti-air which can't detect stealth, then there'll be a nice little niche. But I'm not really sure it's worth it, to be honest.
Okay, I'll have to think about that one then. What about... Oh, wow. Stealth air superiority is crazy good against other planes and helicopters. They could be nice to have. Wow. All right, I'm going to do that. Because I don't want to be... I mean, I've got a ton of anti-air anyway, so I'll have to think about what air stuff I go for. I'll just have a real think about where the weakness is. Naval patrol aircraft. What's that? I'm just looking at the bombers. Naval patrol look quite good at bombing boats and subs. Naval patrol. Fully upgraded. It's got 14 attack against boats, 8 against subs, and the attack range is 3,500. So long as they've not got any anti-air with their boats, they're all right. Stealth bomber.
They're so weak to anti-air, though, especially because they're just slow. We saw how easy it was to shoot down the elite bomber of Norway's, and they're expensive, and you only get a limited number of them. So I don't think it's worth it. I've used bombers, like the most useful they've been is to actually to destroy infrastructure, specifically airfields, because they can destroy those in like 1 or 2 hits. A lot easier than strikes can. But in terms of killing troops or even boats, strike fighters can do the job.
What about a stealth bomber to attack their infrastructure in terms of annexed cities and airfields? Got a range of 5,000, and they've got 10 attack against hard targets.
Now, stealth bombers, they are incredible. Has Norway got stealth bombers? Do you know?
They had... no, it was... Hang on, I'll tell you. It was...
They had the elite bombers.
Elite bomber, yeah.
And stealth strike fighters, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That launched all the missiles.
Yeah. Stealth bombers are incredible because, it overcomes all the problems with the anti-air, apart from obviously if somebody's locating stealth. And you can fire off a ton of cruise missiles as well. So you can just go directly to somebody's city. Like 5,000 range is... It's enough to reach like most of the battlefield, and add on the cruise missile range to that. But you need a level 5 secret weapons lab, and
Jesus.
I mean, like, that's the main thing.
Okay, that's why no one goes for them then.
An airbase. No, sorry, it's a level 5 airbase and a level 1 secret weapons lab, but it's the airbase which takes a while to get.
Well, there are players out there with a level 5 airbase.
Ooh.
Yeah, I've got a level 1. I'll take too long. Okay, well, good to know. Well, we're in a bit of a accumulation phase now, aren't we? Where I think everyone's desperately trying to build up their armies for an almighty clash that's going to happen. God knows when.
Yep.
I don't know when it's going to kick off. But I'm desperate to now build my armies up now that I've got my country back and I can start expanding again. So, just trying to repair still. My components will be building.
Do you need some components? Because I
don't actually.
I'm not really using them. You don't need them.
Not right now, but okay. I will get to a point where I could use them maybe in a day.
Yeah.
Or two.
I'm ending up like stockpiling them because I've got no electronics. So.
Okay. Yeah. Maybe just
same with you, maybe.
Do you think you'd try and annex an electronics city, or maybe use the components to build a random officer, like a tank officer or something? Research, because it's easy to research an officer, and they take a lot of components, don't they?
Yeah. Yeah, that's probably going to be pretty key later on, actually, having that tank officer.
Tank officer on a stack of support.
Yeah.
Working towards that now. And I've got an offer up for supplies, Tim, 4,500 at 15. So you just chip away at that if you want.
Yeah. Check, I can. Still spending a lot of supplies.
Yeah, it's just the state of defense and the rockets combined. They just they really swung it in the other way.
Yeah, and research, and research gets more expensive, doesn't it, as we go along?
Like we've been branching out quite a lot, so I found generally stuff is going to cost between like 1,800 and 2,500. So if you can accumulate like 5,000 supplies a day after all your other builds, then you're generally all right. But I think between like each one of us is building like a couple of theatre defence or something like that a day.
Yeah.
And that's a few thousand on top of that.
That's why I'm quite glad I've come to the end of building theatre defence and mobile SAMs for now. And that I'm just going to stop it, and then that'll give me a chance to get the research up and, ahead of the research, and saving up for a naval officer, and I've got a load of other stuff like frigates and destroyers, and it'll take a little bit. But I'll be there in a day or two. I'll be ahead of the game again with supplies, and then I'll be getting short components, but that's a good place to be. But I've got more electronics coming in. All these new cities I'm taking over are helping. So that's good, because I was really struggling with electronics. Like I had a really low supply, like 70 odd an hour. Got loads of rare materials. And I don't know if you noticed, but how Brazil got over the pond between Brazil and Africa. There's that, Ascension Island that sort of popped up at one point, didn't it? It's like a timed arrival, and that's got an airbase on it. So we can definitely take that out at some point when we go to war with them, cut them off. And it will definitely be important to try and cut out their infrastructure, because if we can ground their planes, look, there's an airfield in between, kind of like east of the Kaya complex in Mali, in Africa, where it helps them get over the river into Niger. I wonder if that's for their air mobility troops, or if that is for their planes. Probably their planes, because there's no other airfields around. So any airfield they've got, like we did with Norway, we'll cut that off. It might be, Tim, that where you are with Norway, that they were basically connected by 10 airfields. I took all of them out, didn't I, with agents? And so where you are, they may be struggling to kind of function the way that they'd set up all their airfields to do, and they're just kind of like, Yeah, just trying to work out what happened, take people back a bit so they can come forward again. God knows. It might have really helped, and that's why they couldn't quite react to our incursion in Europe as quick as they would have liked.
Problem is in Africa is that it takes a while to get from one end to the other, and all this open land means you can open yourself up to lots of opportunity where the enemy gets to you before you can even fly in troops. I think I'm going to want to build like more airfields just to get troops in closer when they do fly in. But it's the reason why I need troops on the front line is because if Brazil did just decide to push up through Algeria, it wouldn't take them long to get to Libya. So like the Buziyama complex is where I'll be falling back to if worse comes to worse. But
oh, great!
I think ideally when we go on the offensive, we want to use this land to our advantage as well and push through all of the desert just to get straight to them. And maybe we could lock them in this landmass, Mali around here, and then it will make it a bit more difficult for them to cross back over if there's fewer places where they can cross the river.
What we want to be doing is locking them in fairly endless, pointless land battles while we take out their homeland.
Well, how on earth are we going to do that?
Has anyone got a level 5 airfield?
No.
Anyone close?
Not at all.
No.
It'll take about a week to do all the research to get a stealth bomber.
Cool.
I mean, an option is to try and move through the Antarctic, but they're going to see that coming a mile off.
Yeah, I don't know the point in that.
Or once we've taken Europe, if we can get round them, we can go and take the Free West and First State, all of that area, but that'll take a long time. Then that coalition will see us coming too. It's a really tough one. Maybe we just need to hold them off here and focus on the fight to the east with New Zealand.
Yeah, I think we're going to have to focus on one player, and I think it should probably be New Zealand, because if we can take them out or really cripple them, then I think that's going to give us our best hope, because they've got quite a lot of boats, haven't they? And I think that either Brazil or Argentina, one of them isn't as strong as the other. I think it's Brazil. Argentina is quite strong as well. It's their home cities. Yeah, he's got level 4 naval base, level 3 naval base, so he's going to be pumping out cruisers. I think we're going to really struggle against their navy. Level 5
I think
airbase.
I think we're going to be like fairly matched on troops, considering the amount of anti-air we have and all our boats being within close proximity. But we know that they've got slightly better tactics, which they've managed to use to outmaneuver Ireland and Norway. Like the way Argentina moved in through Malaga and through Mallorca to then hop into Barcelona. It was quite good because he opened them up a few angles of attack, which initially failed, but then Brazil pushed in with him. So they're organised and they've got some kind of battle plan, which is more than can be said for Ireland and Norway, who just kind of threw all their troops at us.
Yeah, they just sort of flung stuff forward, didn't they, with a bit of thought, but they didn't really work together. Yeah. Well, this is going to be a tricky one. I'm amazed I'm still alive, first and foremost. I'm amazed we're pushing into Norway now, but I think the coalition that we're up against is huge, and they've got good tactics, and they've got, well, one of them has got 45 boats on his own.
Yeah. So, I want to try and bait New Zealand into something where we just end up crippling his ships near Djibouti or something. Because, he'll sit there and hit us back and he won't realise how little damage he's doing to us compared to what we're doing to him.
Yeah,
and he might not come back, so...
That's the perfect choke point for us, isn't it, to set up that stack. Do you remember we did that in the other series we've got on the channel, where it was actually a different setup? In Egypt, I had a big stack, and I was hitting away for a while, and they didn't realise they weren't even damaging me because I had the bunker. And no, that was nice. So this is going to be a nice one to build up a stack of rockets on Djibouti. I wonder if we need any closer to our homeland.
I'm considering using Muscat as well, like Amman, just as that sort of entrance into all of my home cities there.
Yeah.
But I'll see.
Or
maybe towards the top as well, if the Suez Canal.
Oh yeah, actually Bandar Abbas is going to be closer to all your stuff, isn't it? Well, depends where you're pumping them out from, which side.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do want to. So I've got these stacks, right? I've got about 4 stacks where I've got a theatre defence and 2 mobile anti-air, right? The mobile SAM, and I want to add a couple of rockets to each stack as well, so that I've got kind of like a mobile home defence force, and maybe just have like a Sheridan tank in there as well. That wouldn't be too difficult to build up.
Yeah, I'm thinking definitely having a tank in there is a good idea. I'm going to start sticking some main battle tanks in with my support stacks, specifically with my rockets, just so if they get hit by a missile, I'm pretty sure the tank absorbs the hit first. And with the main battle tank, they've got 50 hit points, so they can sponge a lot. And
they're a good sponge.
They don't win battles on their own by any means, especially against planes. But whenever you see a stack of tanks coming for you, like, it takes a while to take it down. So using those defensively would be really good. And again, going back to the open land and desert, they've got a 25% attack and defense bonus. So I'll have some of that, and then they can move into Turkey to help defend there if needs be too.
Great. And they can fly. Main battle tanks, crazily enough, if they're high enough level, they can fly. So you can fly them in and out.
Can you think of anything scarier than a tank flying at you through the air?
It shouldn't be possible, should it?
I can't.
Right, okay. Just spotted some boats then. Tim.
Yeah.
Your frigates. Oh, okay. I forget you've got frigates and Jonathan's got the destroyers. So you're going up. Nice. Yeah, that'll give you really nice support to take on Norway. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Because I was going to send a stack of frigates actually round to your side, but you've got them already. So I'll just join up with my other frigate to make a stack of 4, and then bring them round to join the infantry, the naval officer that I'm building, and maybe just keep them around my home cities then. Okay, cool. There's a plane going out there. How's the hospital going? Are you feeling a bit safer? We've got infantry officer, Handsome Jack, and we've got an infantry officer.
He's been there for about a week now, and he still hasn't healed to full. I think he's having a vacation.
Yeah, still 4 heal points a day, but yeah, he was pretty badly battered, wasn't he?
Are you wounded. Like repairing the hospital?
Not at the moment, no. I've got other priorities, but it's still on level 3, so it's a full level 2 and a bit of 3. So it'd be 3.5, 3.6 hit points a day, maybe. Who knows? 2.6, but it's still better than nothing.
It's a real trouble for these officers because you can't stack them together with other units to combine the healing. And they've got so much health. So really, like, if you get them really low, then they might be out of action for a couple of weeks, and it's almost worth just killing them and making a new one.
Yeah. Cool. But I must say, infantry officers, they're great early doors, but not as much value as maybe some of the other officers later in the game.
Yeah.
Definitely feel a lot more confident having, 1 or 2 officers in a stack, whatever they are, airborne on level 3. They can walk at a normal speed, and you can stick those in with an infantry officer, and they make quite a formidable stack if you just have a few troops.
Yeah, I'm already starting to think about the next game, and I really liked spamming National Guard. I think they've got a place. But anyway,
it can be your thing.
Yeah, try a different style each series. It's interesting. You learn a lot about the game. So much to learn in this game. It's when you think you've got it nailed, it opens itself out into a new way. So, but anyway, great episode for now, boys. Let's see everyone tomorrow and see what's happening, because look at all this land we're taking and all this stuff we're doing. So it's goodbye from me.
Goodbye from me.
Goodbye from me.
Over and out.